Welcome back to another video, man, and today we have ranking Nas albums ranked from worst to best. You feel me? I did a video by the same person for the Tupac video where I ranked all of his albums, and a lot of people said they wasn't agreeing with the rankings, but hopefully he can get it right with Nas. So without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into it. Let's see what he talking about on here.
Theory. Today we are ranking Nas's albums from worst to first with 15 studio.
If Illmatic's not first, Stillmatic should be, in my opinion, Stillmatic should be 2. Stillmatic definitely should be 2. Lost Tapes or Lost Files, that album, that should be top 5. Godson should be top 3. That off rip. Illmatic, Stillmatic 2, Godson. I Am is a pretty good album too, though. But I probably say one of his newer albums are up there in his top 5, though. And then the Lost Tape, where all his throwaway songs, that should definitely be up there too. You feel me? So that's just my opinion. I'm just letting y'all know.
Albums to his name, being 30 years deep in the game, many hip-hop heads label him as GOAT. Nas's catalog is at the center of a lot of barbershop talk. Today, we're going to get into it and break down our rankings of the QB Kid. This will not include collab projects, mixtapes, or compilations. If you're feeling our content, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. Now let's get to it. Number 15, Street's Disciple. Nasty Nas's 7th studio album lands at the spot no album wants to be in. Last. With more emphasis than his previous releases, Street's Disciple sees Nas incorporate much more graphic lyricism that at times just makes you cringe. Songs like Nazareth Savage, Remember the Times, and The Makings of a Perfect Bitch add nothing to the damn near 90-minute runtime. Nas wanted to add a double disc to his catalog, joining the likes of Pac, Biggie, and of course Jay, so we understand the desire to release the project. But this doesn't hold a candle to either one.
Biggie dropped a double mixtape? What double mixtape he dropped? Because Ready to Die was, it wasn't a double mixtape, and Life After Death wasn't either. If I'm not mistaken, I've reacted to both of those. And I think both of those were like 3-4 part albums. Tupac album, All Eyes on Me, that was like a 6-part reaction. I'm not gonna lie. So what is he talking about? Like what double mixtape did Biggie have?
Of those releases. Yes, even Blueprint 2. If he had trimmed the album down to the best 10 to 12 songs from the session, cuts like Bridging the Gap, Rest of My Life, and Thieves Theme would have had more room to shine in his catalog. Number 14, Nostradamus. Following the critical success.
Nostradamus? That's crazy. That's one of the albums I haven't done, and that's one of his earlier albums. That's like his 3rd or 4th album. Like, that was before Stillmatic. So I mean, that's one of the ones I've been wanting to do. I'm not gonna lie to you. 14th best album? Yikes. Yikes.
Of Illmatic and the commercial successes of back-to-back #1 albums in It Was Written and I Am. Needless to say, Nas...
Oh, It Was Written. I forgot all about It Was Written's top 5 too. Alright, so it's Illmatic, Stillmatic, It Was Written, Godson, and Lost Tapes. That's tough. That's a tough top. That's a tough top 5 right there. Y'all comment down below. I forgot all about it. It was I think that was the first Nas album I ever did too. I think that was the first one, or it was Illmatic. But I think it was Written. It Was Written was definitely the first Nas album I did. That one hit home for me. That's a deep one. My first time ever. I gave you Power. Like that was the first. That's the first song that I listened to Nas, and like it really made me put on my thinking cap. Like looking back at it now, I did not know he was talking about a gun until y'all told me in the comments.
And a lot of pressure from all sides mounting on him. Not to mention an untimely leaked album forcing him to re-record material. Even with that being said, we're comfortable putting this project toward the bottom of his discography. Songs like Last Words, Big Girl, and Quiet Niggas added fuel to the conversation of Nas's poor beat selection. One too many gimmicks with this album, like the 3D music video for the title track, and then there was the god-awful attempt at a club record, You Owe Me, featuring Genuine, produced by Timbaland. You can still you'll find a hot song or two in Life We Chose or Project Windows, and even Family with Mobb Deep, but the album is far from its best, and in hindsight, probably should have been delayed to allow for more tweaks before its release. Number 13, Nasir. Nas with Kanye.
Nasir? Wow. And it's one of the newer albums. 13?
Executive producing sounds like a hip-hop head's dream. Unfortunately, the project didn't play out in reality like it did on paper. With just 7 songs and a runtime under 30 minutes, Nas and Ye managed to make a couple of solid tracks for the sake of it, but nothing that meets the expectations.
Oh, so this was... But he said it wasn't a... He said minusing collab albums. Let me go back, because maybe I misheard that. Because I hear Ye and Nas, but he said no collab albums.
In hindsight, probably should have been delayed to allow for more tweaks before its release. Number 13, Nasir. Nas with Kanye executive producing sounds like a hit.
Oh, Kanye was executive producer. Okay. Makes more sense.
Pop head's dream. Unfortunately, the project didn't play out in reality like it did on paper. With just 7 songs and a runtime under 30 minutes, Nas and Ye managed to make a couple of solid tracks for the sake of it, but nothing that meets the expectations leading up to the project's release. The album, while solid, felt rushed, leaving listeners feeling as if they got cheated out of something special. Cop Shot the Kid, Adam and Eve, and Everything, featuring a soulful Kanye hook, still get occasional play, but we're hoping if they ever run it back, we'll get something closer to what we envisioned on Still Dreaming. Thankfully, this wouldn't be the last time Nas would drop an album exclusively produced by one person. More on that later. Number 12, Hip Hop is Dead. Nas's bold title echoed the sentiments of a lot of critics of the genre during the mid-2000s. Despite making the claim that rap died and even begging the question of who was responsible, Nas failed to deliver an answer in regards to his own gripes with the music. With production ranging from will.i.am to Scott Storch, the album never seemed to find a cohesive sound for audiences to get behind. One consolation from the highly anticipated project lies in Black Republican. Jay and Nas do their thing to not only let listeners know the beef is dead, but also that they were going to resurrect the genre in whatever way they saw fit. Still Dreaming, Where Are They Now, and the Dr. Dre produced Hustlers are also solid additions to Nas's body of work, just not enough to make us forget about Blunt Ashes. Before we get into the top 10, if we counted Lost Tapes 1 and 2, where would you place them in his discography? Would either of...
Oh, Lost Tapes. Wait, why? Why y'all not counting that?
Just not enough to make us forget about Blunt Ashes. Before we get into the top 10, if we counted Lost Tapes 1 and 2, where would you place them in his...
That's a compilation? Y'all would consider that a compilation? Lost Tapes is top 5 on me. Now I wonder what I Am. I can't put I Am top 5, but those are the only albums that I heard. It Was Written, Stillmatic, Illmatic, Lost Tapes, Godson, I Am, and that's it. It Was Written, but I don't know. I Am would have to be top 5 because that's based off what I already know, like based off what I reacted to.
Discography. Would either of them crack the top 10? Lost Tapes 1 would definitely be up there if it were up to us. That Papa Was a Player was tough. All right, anyway, back to the list. Number 11, Untitled. The highly controversial project that went through several name changes makes it just outside our top 10 today. This record marked a pivotal change in the Queensbridge MC's direction. This album sees Nas tackling systematic issues like racism, political power struggles, and the need for unity throughout Black America. Tracks like...
I don't know if I'm ready to react to that album, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if I'm ready to react to that because I'm not too political. I don't know too much about politics for real. I mean, obviously I know about racism, I know about social injustice and all that stuff, but like I'm not that deep with events that happen. You feel me? I don't know what was going on around that time for him to want to speak up on it or whatever the case may be. Obviously I know a little bit of history, like I know about, you know, the Trayvon Martins and stuff like that, like those type situations, but I don't know what year that came out and what was going on in those years. You feel me? So that's going to be a deep album. But surprisingly, nobody has commented down below for me to do this album.
These, Testify and You Can't Stop Us Now show Nas at one of the most conceptual points of his career. We get a killer verse from Busta Rhymes on Fried Chicken, one of Nas's better intros in Queens Get the Money, and a Nas and DJ Tool collab we didn't know we needed in Nigger. Features from Chris Brown and Kerry Hilson along with tracks like America.
Nigger? What the freak? Nah, hold up.
One of Nas's better intros in Queens Get the Money, and a Nas and DJ Tool collab we didn't know we needed in Nigger. Features from Chris Brown and Carrie Hilson, along with tracks like America and We're Not Alone, give the album an underlying tone of commercialism, which contradicts the more serious themes Nas was trying to address. But all in all, the mission somewhat accomplished. Also, does anybody remember the mixtape he did with Green Lantern leading up to this album? It's called The Nigger Tape, and it's still on mixtape sites like Dat Piff if you're interested in revisiting it. Number 10, I Am. Originally slated to be a double album, many of the original songs were leaked.
Hold up, because y'all, they just said that that Nas album, the political one, y'all just said that one was 10. So this got to be 9, if I'm not mistaken. Hold up, let me go back.
Number 11, Untitled.
Number 11. Okay. My fault, brother. My fault, brother.
Separate albums, which explains why we get this and Nostradamus in the same year. We can hear some of Nas's first shots at Jay on We Will Survive, one of Nas and Primo's best collabs in Nas's Like, and one of the stronger follow-ups to an iconic song with New York State of Mind Part 2. However, with the good comes the bad, and we also get KISSING and Money Is My Bitch. This album served as a buffer between the critical success of its predecessors and the commercial success Nas was aiming for on projects that followed it. We get superstar features from Aaliyah and DMX as well, but the album is mainly held back by the at times blatant attempts to remake Illmatic and an identity crisis forming from his love for the streets and the industry, resulting in a commercially successful but critically mixed response from fans. Number 9, Godson.
No. Godson at 9? Godson at 9. In my opinion, that's a top 5 Nas album. But maybe I have to re-listen. Maybe I have to listen to the top 5 and actually react to those before I can say Godson. But Godson got Thug's Mansion. Godson is one of them ones. That's one of my favorite Nas albums. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Starting the album properly with a clean sample of James Brown's The Boss, Nas immerses the audience in one of his most assertive efforts today. He brings back that same intensity on the Salim Remy assisted tracks Major Look and I Can't. Godson sees Nas doubling down on his stance against production on the M-produced track The Cross, which sounds like a time capsule from 2002. He still finds ways to let his artistry shine through on tracks like Book of Rhymes, Mastermind, and the
Book of Rhymes is so tough. Oh my
acoustic version of Thug's Mansion. Nas's effort throughout the project feels inconsistent, and he never seemed to fully utilize that energy he had on Get Down. But the project still serves as a solid follow-up to Stillmatic in helping him regain footing from Nostradamus. Did you know Godson is not only a GOAT in music, but in business too? The One Mic MC has invested in several big-name startups like Dropbox, Lyft, Robinhood, and Ring. The latter netted him a cool 40 M's after the doorbell company was acquired by Amazon. Let's not forget his investment in Mass Appeal magazine, later rebranded into a media company and record label, Sweet Chick Restaurants, and his clothing line History. Very impressive portfolio, if we may say so ourselves. Number 8, King's Disease. Nas and West Coast producer Hit Boy linked for the first time to deliver one of the Queen's MC's most consistent projects. Nas's 12th studio album sees him reuniting with The Firm, collabing with newer talent like Fabio Foreign and Don Toliver, and using his status as a legacy artist to give his
I've been hearing about this album right here though. King's Disease, I heard that's one of them ones. I actually did hear about that being one of those ones. Magic, Black, what is it called? Black Magic or just Magic? Magic 1, 2, and 3. I heard those were okay. And those are the newer ones too. So it's like Nas probably get better as he get older.
Take on the downfalls of success.
That's kind of hard to believe though, because I like 90s music. Anything in the 2000s, I ain't really rocking with.
The industry. Highlights include All Bad featuring Anderson .Paak and a Little Dirt collab that does just enough to work until the war is won. The album can feel a bit short in places, and songs like Blue Benz or even Spicy, which probably would have fared better in a post-pandemic New York, may not have made our final cut, but it's no denying that him and Hit Boy found their lane and utilized it to the fullest. Number 7, King's Disease 2. On the follow-up to their Grammy Award-winning first installment, Nas and Hit only further solidify their outstanding chemistry. We get a feature from the ever-elusive Miss Lauryn Hill, a fire verse from M, and
Lauryn Hill on the album with Nas. They don't miss. I'm not gonna lie to you. They don't miss. The World Is Yours and wait, no. What's that song? Free all my guys. Wait, what is that? No, The World Is Yours. She's not on there. It's on. I don't know what. Man, I know it's 2 songs. I think Whose World? The World Is Yours. I free all my brother. Nah, she said I free all my sons. I free all my sons. I forgot how that song went, but I know him and Lauryn Hill don't miss. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. And I heard Lauryn Hill's supposed to be dropping the album. That's what somebody told me in the comment section. I think they were just trying to baffle my feathers because I ain't heard nobody else say it, and they ain't replied to my message yet.
These 2. On the follow-up to their Grammy Award-winning first installment, Nas and Hit only further solidify their outstanding chemistry. We get a feature from the ever-elusive Miss Lauryn Hill, a fire verse from M, and some of Hit's most subtle yet perfectly crafted production on a rare example of a follow-up project exceeding its predecessor. Our one complaint is YKTV. It just feels like Nas is playing to his weaknesses rather than his strengths. Other tracks to check out include Moments, Count Me In, and Nas Is Good. Number 6, King's Disease 3. KD3 opens with one of his most ambitious intros to date. Pair that with a full circle reference to Takeover, and you get a clear picture of concentration and cohesion that the first 2 tapes lack. Worth noting, KD3 splits all the duties between Nas and executive producer Hit Boy. No features. The first tape saw them exploring uncharted waters, with the second tape guiding them in a more experimental and minimalistic sound. This tape serves as the natural progression of its predecessors. Once a Man, Twice a Child sees a seasoned pioneer dropping gems of wisdom, reiterating all of us aren't going to get old. Reminisce has the QB legend effortlessly floating from his traditional style to the drill sound taking over NY soundscapes. First Time, Get Light, and I'm on Fire all prove to be a better supporting cast of cuts than KD 1 and 2. However you rank the project, it's clear that the Nas and Hit Boy connection is a winning combo, and we hope to see more magic in the future. Number 5, Magic. Dropping out of nowhere, Nas and Hit gave us a placeholder for King's Disease 3, but don't think that means they let up on the quality by any means. Take notes, Kanye, because coming in at just 9 tracks, the project is brief but loaded with bangers. Records like Ugly, Woo for the Children, and Hollywood Gangsta show a rejuvenated hunger in a Nas 30 years into the game. Hit's timeless blend of boom bap and 808s bridges the gap.
Magic? That album cover actually looked like Nas Snap, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a throwback picture of him. That brother looked like he was on that timing back then. That's what it looked like. It looked like that brother took us a blast from the past. I mean, we was on a time machine.
Between It Was Written and Life Is Good. When taking a step back, Magic has distinguished itself as the clear collection of gems to emerge from their sessions. While the project doesn't have any skips, its runtime of less than 30 minutes makes us wonder what tracks didn't make the final cut to help flesh the album out more. Drop your ranking of the Nas and Hit Boy tapes in the comments. Also, if Nas could lock himself in the studio with one producer, not named Hit Boy, who would you want it to be? Sound off below. All right, back to the list. Number 4, Stillmatic.
Number 4, Stillmatic. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that.
Drop your ranking of the Nas and Hit Boy tapes in the comments. Also, if Nas could lock himself in the studio with one producer, not named Hit Boy, who would you want it to be? Sound off below. All right, back to...
Join the millions who've saved on their move with Pods. Book now and save up to 25% off.
Number 4, Stillmatic. Stillmatic is Nas saying he still got it. After the underwhelming releases of I Am and Nostradamus, the title of King of New York was almost gifted to Jay when Nas stepped up and delivered one of his best projects to date. Here we get some of Nas's best storytelling on Rewind, one of his strongest concepts on One Mic, and one of the best disses of all time in Ether. Got Yourself a Gun, Smoking, and Second Child childhood all help round out the album and create one of Nas's most versatile offerings. While tracks like The Flyest, Rule, and Every Ghetto can date the album at times, we think this album plays into the nostalgia better than most. Notably, this was one of the last albums to get a 5-mic classic rating in the Source. It was actually the second album that year to get the coveted rating alongside, wait for it, Jay-Z's The Blueprint. Wonder if the Source used this rating to add hype to the feud between the two GOATs. We think so. Number 3, it was written. Nas's sophomore effort had to deal with...
But what's number 2? Because we know Illmatic number 1. But what's number 2? It gotta be Magic 2 or Magic 1. Like, it gotta be one of these newer albums.
More hype than maybe any album in the genre's history. Yet somehow the Queen's MC managed to overcome those unrealistic expectations to deliver one of his most essential albums. With production from Trackmasters, DJ Premier, LES, songs like The Message, I Gave You Power, and Suspect allowed Nas to keep the lyrical reputation he had built off of his debut while maturing as an artist and exploring more conceptual ideas in a way that gained him more commercial success. Not to mention one of the most successful songs of his career in If I Ruled the World, featuring the great Lauryn Hill.
If I rule, that's the name of the song. If I rule the world, I free all my son. Yep, there we go. I love him,
and exploring more conceptual ideas in a way that gained him more commercial success. Not to mention one of the most successful songs of his career in If I Ruled the World, featuring the great Lauryn Hill. The album has something to offer for all Nas fans. Our only real takeaway would be that we wanted more from a Nas and Dr. Dre collab, but that's light for one of the best albums to come out of the 90s. Number 2, Life is Good. The 11th studio...
No. Y'all, this is the album that y'all been telling me. Life is Good. I keep hearing this is the album that a lot of people been telling me to react to. Life is Good. The album is that good. It's his second best album. They got it as his second best album. Better than It Was Written. And it's his 11th studio album. It's that good. I'm not gonna lie. What?
Album from Nas, The Don, did not disappoint. Debuting at number 1 on Billboard 200 with widespread critical acclaim, Nas offers up his most mature and personal project to date. Detailing his divorce, watching his children grow up, and recounting his endeavors throughout the rap game are just some of the many topics Nas touches on through the 14-track listing. This more mature version of Nas also gives us some of his best material in Bye Baby, Daughters, and Stay. With major contributions from No ID and Salim Remy, the project only reiterates the question of how we would view Nas if he had more consistent production throughout his career. Number 1, Illmatic. One of hip-hop's most foundational offerings, Illmatic needs no introduction. With a dream team of producers and features from AZ,
if it ain't hard to tell. Ooh, I'm telling you, Nas.
Lil Durah, and Q-Tip, Nas flexes in-depth storytelling, a variety of flows, and one of the greatest track lists of all time. 10 tracks, 40 minutes, and no filler, Nas is efficient and hungry in ways we had never heard before. New York State of Mind, being followed by Life's a Bitch, beautifully captures the duality of the project being both grimy and celebratory. The album is equally innovative and influential, being imitated countless times. Not bad for a kid from Queensbridge barely old enough to drink. How many more albums do you think Nas has left in him before he hangs it up? Jump in the comments and let us know.
I think, how old is Nas right now? Nas probably like 45. He probably like 45. Yeah, he probably like 45. Probably almost 50. I say Nas probably got like 3 more albums in him. He probably got like 3 more albums in him. Maybe 3. But I gotta listen to his most recent album to be able to tell you how many he really got. But first we're gonna do Life is Good. We're gonna start 2025 off with one of those albums, you feel me? So y'all definitely be on the lookout for that. 2025 we're gonna start doing that album. 2020 December we're gonna do the Big L album, and then we're gonna oh snap, the whole screen turned off. But 2025 we're gonna do Life is Good, and then all the other albums. Right now we're gonna do the Big L album in December. We're gonna be doing interviews and all that stuff. I got another video planned for the end of the year. I'm gonna do my top, like maybe my top 5 or top 10 albums that I've done so far since I've been reacting. I don't know if I should do for this year or just overall since I've been reacting. I've been reacting for about 2 years now. but I started doing album reactions like early 2023. You feel me? Early 2023. Well, I say like April 2023 is when I probably started doing album reactions consistently. But yeah, I was doing just music at first, but now I'm doing consistently album reactions like how I do now. I do consistent album reactions strictly. But December of this year, we're just gonna be doing interviews. We're gonna do that Big L album, and yeah, and then we're gonna be doing my top 10 favorite albums that I've done so far, that I reacted to. And then we're gonna start the year off 2025. We're gonna start the year off hot and blazing. So we're gonna give y'all that Nas albums. We're gonna be doing a lot of Nas albums. I think so far this year we only did like three or four. So you know, we're gonna try to keep it on track with that. I plan on doing all the Nas albums so I can rank them myself. But you know, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell to be notified every time I drop a video. Follow me on Instagram, link will be in the description box down below. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about those rankings and those ratings right there. But yeah, man, I'll see y'all in the next one. Hope y'all enjoy.